All right, folks, is Ripple XRP about to be deemed systemically important? Now, I know it sounds crazy, and I got to put out the caveat, the red flag alert. Little bit of speculation is about to occur in today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right on into the crypto update, folks. We got a lot to cover here. Just in, we got a dormant wallet holding 1,000 Bitcoin worth 27 million has been activated after 12 years. Now, this just keeps popping up. Day after day, we get these dormant wallets that are over a decade old that are being reactivated. And in some cases, we're seeing some of these Bitcoins actually move to the exchanges as well, getting ready to potentially offload. So that's something that we're watching very closely. Now, today we see Warren Davidson took to CoinDesk for a little interview here where he's talking about his proposal to restructure the SEC and to fire Gary Gensler. Let's listen in on this one, folks. Thank you.
Congressman Warren Davidson, welcome.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again. Okay, well, let's get right into this. This is a very bold proposal. Now, Gary Gensler is not very popular within the cryptocurrency community, but you are making a much bolder statement. You were saying he has a record of failures. Can you just outline for us in sort of the most objective way, what are these failures that you are pointing to?
Yeah, I think Gensler's failures highlight this. There's a structural problem. There's a Gary Gensler problem, but there's also a structural problem with the Securities and Exchange Commission. And really, you go back years ago, they went to a strong chairman. The original structure was the commission. And so he's frankly front running the entire market, whether it's, Congress, the House, the Senate, Treasury, the CFTC, and it's all to try to gain jurisdiction. And instead of acknowledging that he needs to work with Congress to get clarity for digital assets, I've called it like similar to Hotel California, not the exact lyric, but you can check in with the SEC, but you can never leave.
Congressman.
I love it. You can check in, but you can never leave. He says, just come on in and, tell us your story. I'm a good guy. Gary Gensler, making sure that Goldman Sachs and the Wall Street boys and girls are protected always. Now, you guys are seeing there's a deal with the devil that's being offered to Argentina, massive 100% plus inflation. But this is the deal right here, folks, the little deal with the devil. In this case, it's the IMF. Argentina's $45 billion IMF bailout includes the country's must take on an anti-cryptocurrency stance. So they must take on an anti-cryptocurrency stance if they want to get bailed out to the tune of $45 billion. The most recent deal here being offered to Argentina, another country that has faced 100% plus inflation. Very tough situation going on down there. Now, I hope those folks have been able to pick up some precious metals to preserve their wealth, a little insurance hedge, and even some digital assets too that could potentially free their people up using DLT technology. And like so many countries, you guys are seeing Zimbabwe and others now moving to precious metals, digital currencies, and we love to see it. This is the opportunity, the level playing field that I want to see for the people in Argentina and other countries around the world. Right here in the United States, we're having a good time flipping the burgers at the barbecue with the reserve currency status, and times have been okay. Inflation's gotten bad, but we haven't reached 100% plus hyperinflation levels yet. But Argentina and some of these other countries already having to, on one end, decide if you want to do a deal with the IMF here, take on an anti-cryptocurrency stance, keep your people enslaved to the central banking cartel, or, turn to gold-backed currencies, level playing field, and, telling the IMF to try that program somewhere else. But tough situation for the people in the streets, the average citizens of these countries. I just hope and I pray that they've been able to get their assets transferred out into precious metals, into digital assets, and that their countries will do the right thing and not just bend over for the bankers. Now, another one here, we cover it and we love to see it, Zum Wallet. Zum makes a giant leap in e-commerce, now integrated with ECWID, ECWID by Lightspeed. 1 million plus stores can offer seamless, secure XRP ledger payments, boosting cross-border and cross-currency transactions. We love to see it. We don't have to speculate on the development and the growth outside of the United States. It continues to grow at a rapid pace, but that leads us right on into the speculation session here on systemically important non-bank institutions, folks. Let's take a look here. We have this one from Michael Branch. The United States Treasury and a number of top U.S. financial regulators suggested new rules to make it easier for the Federal Reserve to designate non-bank institutions as systemically important, making it easier to supervise and regulate them. Folks, let's take a look at this. This is very, very interesting. Reporting here from Cointelegraph. Janet Yellen called for further regulation of non-bank institutions, claiming they pose a systemic risk to U.S. financial stability. The United States Treasury and a number of top U.S. financial regulators suggested new rules to make it easier for the Federal Reserve to designate non-bank institutions as systemically important, making it easier to supervise and regulate them. Now, folks, I don't care. It's not going to be named in the article. Obviously, Ripple XRP is not named in this article, but I'm not here to clickbait you. Let me explain. I really do believe that XRP and Ripple in this lawsuit is systemically important to the new financial system and to resetting the whole financial system across the world. XRP ready to serve as a bridge asset for all of the currencies, all of the CBDCs, but all of the internet of value. As we tokenize everything, we need this neutral bridge currency. And I think that for the United States to have any sort of chance, they got to have something up their sleeve, whether that's the gold, whether that's some silver, whether that's some XRP, maybe a little bit of both. That would be my recommendation. That would be my hope and prayer as a U.S. citizen. But let's continue reading right here, folks. So you guys see, in remarks from the Financial Stability Oversight Council meeting on April 21st, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen raised concerns over non-bank financial institutions due to their lack of supervision and the potential for wider financial contagion to take hold when these firms suffer through periods of distress. Call it ripple effects, maybe? We know how they love that word, that term, that phrase used so often now in the news here. But they say non-bank is an umbrella term for an entity that does not hold a bank license, but still provides specific financial services. Unlike traditional banking institutions, these entities are not insured by the FDIC. Non-banks include venture capital firms, crypto companies, and hedge funds. So they actually do list off here crypto companies, hedge funds. You guys see, we talked about the private equity boys and girls taking big losses over there. The venture capital firms as well. And so this is very interesting. And this is why, as each day goes on, the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit gets even more systemically important, right? And when you got an asset like XRP that could be acquired at a low cost before we get the flip of the switch moment where we get to write up these assets and write off some of our debt, you can see how attractive a deal with Ripple could be. And you see why it's so important that Ripple was sued by the SEC, held back while they tried to release JP Morgan coin. The most recent one has been the IMF Unicoin. That was a complete flop. It's basically a scam. There's really no project or DLT even behind that. It's all just cute nonsense that they continue to try to push, and they've been able to get nowhere. They've completely failed with all of their responses to XRP. You cannot replace it. And I know that I get attacked for calling XRP a reserve currency, even though Ripple said that they had a very simple goal of making XRP a world reserve digital currency back in 2017. I get attacked for identifying my XRP and my wallets as a reserve currency. I thought that we were allowed to identify as whatever we wanted here in 2023. And my XRP identifies as a reserve currency, and I treat it as such, just like Ripple is. And talk about systemically important. Well, I'm not waiting for them to deem silver systemically important, gold systemically important. I'm just watching what they're doing, not what they're saying. They're stacking up more gold than they have in 55 years. We had a 237 million ounce deficit of silver. Thank you very much. I'll take that and store it. Not your keys, not your crypto, not in your vault, not your metals. Potentially looking at a serious liquidity crisis continuing to spread. This is not over. Over 800 billion in unclaimed losses by these banks. That was the report that I just got from Jim Rickards. It's not 600 billion in unrealized losses. He says it's 800 billion, and this crisis isn't going away. And so, yes, the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit is absolutely systemically important, not just to the cryptocurrency space, but to the whole financial system, because I believe that XRP is already on its way to becoming a world reserve digital currency, and the utility that is about to be set free on this thing, on this ledger, once we get regulations, once we get the level playing field and this lawsuit is behind us, you guys are about to see some amazing things happen. So if you appreciate this content, let's smash that thumbs up on the way out. Make sure you hit that notification bell, and everything can be found over at my website, ZachRector.com. God bless all of you. We'll see you in the next one.